So Julius, welcome to India.
Thank you.
So folks may not recognize you, but I'm sure they've experienced your work because you've been the key person in transcribing and setting up all of Acharyaji's books, and we have some of them over there. And you've ensured that a lot of these books are now available for folks to read, everything from Srimad Bhagavad Gita to meditation. And you've decided to come to India from Finland.
That's right.
I'm just curious to know more. You told me, and I've read before, that Finland is one of the happiest places in the world, according to the surveys, and yet you're over here. So is that really true?
Well, the survey was actually 5th consecutive time that Finland was picked as the happiest country of the world. I guess the thing is that the kind of metrics they use to count these kind of things are mostly very materialistic. And I guess that's the thing, that in my experience in Finland, I've lived there my whole life. I guess I've been very well off in many possible ways, or maybe even all of them. That the economic situation is very good, the level of education is high, and I've even had I've been very fortunate to have been under some very good teachers in music also. So it's kind of this, how should I say it? You have everything, but still nothing seems to work. But yes, I did come to India. And I've been here for a month now. As you know, you have been very helpful. But I guess the thing is that when it comes to getting into spirituality, as I mentioned earlier, I've been in that kind of situation where I have everything and still I have not been happy. And when it comes to Finland as a country, I think that this is the case with most people there also. The thing is that people are very well adjusted, you know, that all kinds of comforts and social services make it possible to actually compromise, you know.
So this is news to me because I used to think, and I know a lot of Indians think, that if you go to the West, you get all these material comforts and it's paradise, your life is made. So it sounds like that's not the case.
Well, the comforts are definitely there. It's another thing that, do they actually comfort anyone? But yes.
So Acharyaji, maybe if you could help us understand what's going on. It's ranked the happiest country, and yet we have a dissatisfied Finn in our midst.
You see, we need contentment. All of us, people from all over the globe. In fact, to an extent, even non-human species as well. We all need a certain fulfillment. Happiness sometimes looks like that. Happiness to most people is the closest proxy to the thing we are actually seeking. So in absence of any other trustworthy or closer substitute, we go for happiness. That's what the West has done in its own way, that's what the East has done in its own way. The way of the East has been different from the way of the West, yet the aspiration of both East and West, or North and South, any direction, sky and earth, have been the same, because fundamentally we are the same consciousness. So, you see, West has tried a lot of materialism. You will get that, the real thing that we want. I'll call that as that. So you will get that if you are happy, and you get happy if you have a lot of material comforts, nice goods, wonderful machines, gadgets with the latest technology. So that's been the approach in the West. The approach in the East has been of religion. Now this religion, what is it about? This religion has been mostly about an organized structure of belief. Believe that you will get that real thing if you do this and that, if you live this particular way, then you will reach there. It seems neither the East nor the West have succeeded. Materialism doesn't work, and formal religion doesn't work either.
It was actually strange to see that, goes without saying that copious amounts of very profound wisdom literature, saints and seers, have come from India. I don't know numbers, but wouldn't be
in their hundreds and thousands.
Yeah, and most of them we probably haven't even heard of. But the climate here has been such that it has allowed, I don't know if it's the climate really, but still they have, even in the last century, many great names are there.
See, before we go into what has led to that kind of profusion of saints and seers, I think we may first discuss whether that which we commonly come across as religiosity in India is what those saints and seers were about. What the masses practice in India has very little to do with what the saints and seers preached or wanted to tell. So this religiosity that you encounter in India is mostly another kind of materialism, and for the same reason, towards the same end. The West chases goods to be happy, the East chases gods to be happy. There, the goods are gods, here the gods are goods. So there is a lot of trade. There is a lot of trade. You can please the gods by offering them goods, or you can take the gods from the East to the West and get a lot of goods in return. You see, so many recent Indian gurus and all have made it an important thing in their career to be actually settled in the West. You see, gods and goods go together. And they both exist for the same reason, happiness. So I really don't have a grudge against gods nor against goods. It's the flawed concept of happiness that we probably need to go into, because you see, man can do anything in desperation. We need that fulfillment, and if we don't get that, then we'll try everything at our disposal, and we can't be blamed. We'll try material goods, this is gross material, and we will try belief, which is subtle material. Subtle material. So East has been trying gross material, the West there. The West has been trying gross material, the East has been trying something even finer, subtle material here. So you create a story, and then you start living in your own story. To be true. A point comes when you start calling it the truth. This is the truth. The truth. To the next generation and so on, and you also make it a point to spread it to other people and places, and sometimes you want to the sword, because it is the truth and nothing but the truth. It's the truth that we want, and when we don't get it, is a nice thing. That desperation is not something we can blame. It's an auspicious thing rather if channeled. But we don't channelize our desperation. We succumb to our desperation. We succumb to our desperation, and we fall prey to the wrong channels. They don't take us anywhere. The happiness index, Darius, that you referred to, obviously, as Julius pointed out, is measuring happiness over some pretty Western metrics. Those metrics are predefined to call pretty Western things as happiness. And that's why, no wonder, a Western country emerges as the happiest, tops the charts, because that concept of happiness itself is very much Western. So how will East then live up to it?
So it's a rigged game.
It's a rigged game. It's a rigged game. It's like saying, between Indians and Finnish people, the one who is taller is the happier. I stand no chance. The very metric has been rigged. The proxy for happiness is something that Indians can naturally not have, good height. So they'll not be declared happy. He'll be declared happy. But now he says,
I'm not happy.
He's not happy. He's tall, but not as happy. So, nobody is happy. Nobody is happy. The random ways of the mind obviously cannot yield you the real happiness. Real happiness. And real happiness is not an utopia. It's not a utopia because if you do not have it, you crave for it. How can your fundamental craving be utopian? Does not sound nice, does it? All of us, irrespective of where we come from, our gender, our age, we crave for that same thing, right? Can I be at peace? Can I be at rest for once? We all crave for that one thing, right? And we express it in our respective languages, in our respective contexts. How can we all be deluded? And even if we call us deluded, will the craving cease? No, it does not cease. So the craving is real. And the ways that his people have taken and the ways that the East has taken, these ways do not seem to work. The ways of the saints, the sages, they indeed work. They indeed work. And I'm proud that a lot of them came from India. But I'm not at all proud that today, if I say most Indians, that's a gross understatement. Today, 99.99999% Indians have really nothing to do with the words of the sages or the songs of the saints. I'm trying my level best to take Vedant to Indian homes, to begin with, that is. And there is a lot of apathy towards spirituality and wisdom, though equally there is a newfound enthusiasm towards religion. But that kind of religion which is mostly devoid of a spiritual base leads to nothing. In fact, if it leads to something, it is strife, it leads to chaos, it leads to violence, it leads to self-delusion, it gives you nothing. So, the materialism of the West and the religiosity of the East are just both ways to get away from the real thing. West has used the material and East has used the mental, to be really away from the truth. East is not spiritual, and that remains obvious to see. But the East, in spite of its religiosity, is equally distant from spirituality. This most people miss. Now that you are at the fag end of your journey, I would want you to appreciate this. The real thing is neither there nor here. The real thing is in the verses of the Upanishads, in the songs of people like Saint Kabir. That's where the real thing is. Just traveling to this place will fetch you next to nothing, because if you travel to this place, you meet people. And as I said, it's 1 in a million Indian who's really spiritual. So this land as such is no more extraordinary. Probably the general masses at any place, anywhere, were never too spiritual. However, compared to other places, India was relatively better in terms of spirituality. But in current times, I think it's all leveled out. It does not matter whether you are in the US, the Europe, or in India. Materialism rules, and those who cannot afford to be material, they become religious. and both are equally away from the truth.
So in some way, religion is the poor person's
Materialism. Materialism, yeah, of course. Can't have goods, as we said. Have gods. Gods. Having gods is not the same as having the truth.
So just as we take happiness to be this proxy for contentment, it sounds like a lot of folks in the East are taking religion and gods to be the proxy for truth.
For the truth. You think if you go to a place of worship and do the right things there, the customary offerings, the usual practices, think you will get illuminated or liberated. That's not going to happen. The real thing is the real thing. The real thing cannot come to you via set processes and hackneyed practices. It's not going to happen.
So in the West, or at least in the US, you can't go down the street without not seeing a yoga studio or a yoga shop. So it sounds like what people claim will get them closer to fulfillment or the truth is they're just being sold. So just like we in the East look at brands and don't realize we've been sold something, it looks like our gurus have smartened up and are now selling the West spiritual goods.
See, that's what trade. You need something you do not have. I need something I do not have. I give you what you do not have. You give me what I do not have. You had goods. I gave you gods. I had gods. I didn't have goods. I fetched goods from your place. So that's the kind of exchange going on. It's just that neither goods nor gods are the thing that you or me really want. So in some sense, we both will become more affluent due to this trade. But neither of us will become more fulfilled. With this kind of companionship down the road of life, neither of us are actually even inching closer to our destination. It's just that now we have company, and it's a rewarding company. Lots of people flow from India to the West. Equally, there are a lot of people from the West who land in India for so-called religious tourism. So,
yeah, I see them in Rishikesh.
Rishikesh is a hub. Rishikesh, Tiruvannamalai, a lot of other places, Varanasi.
And a lot of it, at least to me, seems a little unscientific. You have sound healing, you've got, I'm sure yoga is good for your body. I don't think it can get you anything beyond a fit.
The kind of yoga that body. We see today, mostly Hatha yogic practices, they are not going to fetch you any wisdom. I'm pretty sure they are good for the body, and I would want more people to be physically fit using Hatha yoga. But to think that practicing bodily postures can get you even a little closer to wisdom is not wise.
Maybe we should call it boga instead.